How are y'all doing? So this is another video on the network security module. So for this one, this is the cloud security assignment where you set up two servers. One of them you access through SSH and the other can only be accessed through that first machine. So I'm going to dive right into the setup. So we're using AWS Amazon for this setup. So right here I have the two machines up and running. Here I have a sort of a proxy, de facto proxy intermediary server where you log in through SSH, and from there only this machine can access this machine through SSH, which I have here in my firewall rules from security groups. So I have the web port open for IPv6 and 4 dual stack, same for the TLS. Now for SSH, again, this security group, only this group can access this port, which is more or less this machine. And this machine, only I have access to this, so that's my current IP address as of recording. And then other stuff, right? Yeah, there's no load balancer, by the way. It's just a really simple setup. That's the security groups I just told about. For DNS, right, I lost access to the account that actually runs my main actual website. It's actually netsec.sites.net because I used a burner email, 10-minute mail, and I forgot to paste it onto the document. Well done. Right, but not to worry, 30 days from now, after recording, it's going to expire, so I can just, or whoever has access to this for assessment, can just sort of just grab it and snag the domain name was expired. But here's a website anyways, right? I'm using a self-signed certificate. I ultimately couldn't get it signed by a certificate authority, so I just resorted to signing it myself. Reason why is because I'm using no IP and I already used my Namecheap, another top level domain hosting sort of for credits. I ran out of credits for that, so I actually used it up. So a bit of a yikes moment right there. But this right here is just the old HTML project / assignment I had back in second year that I made. So back to life this is. Right, now for the actual machines. Now I did already a Nmap scan, and for some reason, even though I have IP tables blocking ports 1110, 143, 995, and 993, it's still showing up for some weird reason. But yeah, I need to investigate it one way or soon. But us diving right in. So here's the first step into the sort of network, I guess. Here is my private key. Here's my certificate. Here's my certificate signing request. So how do I generate a private key? You just use OpenSSL and generate with your own parameters. But to actually generate a certificate, you need to create a signing request first. So which is this command? So you request a new signing cert using this key, and that's your output. And you use that to you either, once you generate this, you can completely validate this and send it off to a certificate authority who will actually validate this, and they'll give you the actual valid certificate that's actually signed, ready to go. But again, I'm gonna get that signed, so I have to self-sign it. So you can self-sign your own signing request with the X509 standard days, 120 for the time being for the module. Input, sign key, output. Right, moving on. Yeah, SSH daemon is running on default. It's running on public key login. So depending on your threat model, passwords are usually worse, but I think it's fine leaving on default for now. So let's actually log in to the web server, which is logging in through the sort of LAN IP. Because if I try to log it in through the public IP is not going to let me, because it's not part of the sort of firewall rule. So it's sort of a good thing that only anyone who has access to this has access to the web server. So I'll dive right in. Ssl Config. So let's take a look at the Ssl files I made. Yeah, so that's snippets. So right here, that's not a good way to show it. Let's do that again. There you go. So I have two configuration files, right? So this really just tell where the certificate and private keys are. Protocols, right? Get rid of the older TLS. That's a good thing. DNS resolver. XSS protection turned on. There you go. Done, dusted. Yeah, that's more or less it, really, as in terms of the actual Ssl config. Now for the actual Nginx. So if you take a look at Nginx status right here, it's running, ready to go. As you can see, this is it right here. Now just pretend that this is secure, but it's encrypted. Yes, the connection between you, client, and the server. But yeah, in terms of this config now, so let's start with Nginx conf, right? You need to edit this file to get rid of the older TLS. Again, you know, check everywhere. You need the logs as is. Well, you're really here for the SSL settings, right? Now for sites. Now there's sites available and sites enabled. It has both have the exact same config. It's right here. Right. Now the thing is important is to force non-HTTP into HTTPS. So what happens there? Any connection to the default 80 is going to get a permanent 301 redirect into the TLS. So server name maps into this, which keys into this. That in turn sort of keys into all this. So we're just pointing the sort of SSL config again back to here, and then change the route as well, because I have a custom. I uploaded it through rsync through the first SSH server and then this one, and then that's it here, and that's more or less it really. IP tables I can show, which is now for this one I had to block. Well, I know I needed to block certain ports, right? I'll show the command right here. It was this one. Yeah, this one, right? More or less to block the ports that were showing up in Nmap scan. So this is it right here. And this right here, this is to protect from a sort of a TCP SYN DOS attack, where you can keep initiating a SYN connection. If I find the command where I did it earlier, right? Should be somewhere here. Where I can rate limit the actual burst. So that's a good thing to add in. Yeah, here it is. Here's the command. So you append it to the input sort of like chain. Protocol TCP SYN limit every 1 second with a burst of 4. And accept. And that's more or less yeah. That's more or less the setup really. It's just a simple website, got TLS working, well, for the most part. But in terms of security hardening, that's more or less I can really demonstrate with the IP tables. So IP tables, check your configs, get rid of weak ciphers and any misconfigs they might have left running. But yeah, that's so far so good, I guess. That's more or less I can show. But yeah, so that's it for today. So over and out, I guess. Be seeing you.